Hey everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm Jenny, and as always, I'm here with Mark, our resident tech guru.
Hey Jenny, always good to be here. And guru might be a strong word. More like enthusiastically curious explorer of all things tech?
I like that. And today, we're diving into something that I've been hearing a lot about lately, staff augmentation. Specifically, we're looking at a company called InfoStack Tech.
Oh, InfoStack Tech. Yeah, I've seen some buzz about them. They're positioning themselves as, offering some serious IT solutions, which is a bold claim, but they do seem to have a focus on staff augmentation, which, in today's fast-paced tech world, is pretty crucial, actually.
Right? It's like companies need to be super adaptable, right? They need to scale up and down their teams depending on projects, new technologies popping up. It's a constant moving target.
Exactly. And that's where staff augmentation comes in. It's not just about filling seats. It's about bringing in specific expertise, often for a limited time. It is kind of like assembling the Avengers for a specific mission. You have your specialist for this and specialist for that. ... And then once the threat is handled, poof, everyone goes on their separate ways.
I love that analogy. So instead of hiring a full-time, say, cybersecurity expert, a company might bring in someone from InfoStack Tech for a 6-month project to revamp their security protocols?
Precisely. And InfoStack Tech, from what I gather, is trying to make that process smoother, more integrated with a company's overall IT strategy. They're talking about cloud solutions, cybersecurity, AI, the whole 9 yards.
Okay, so they're not just providing temporary staff. They're also offering a broader range of IT services?
That seems to be the idea. Their CEO, Ali Raza, his mission statement is to empower businesses through transformative IT solutions. So it's a holistic approach.
It's interesting how much emphasis there is on digital transformation these days. It feels like every company is either undergoing it or talking about it.
It's true. Because, let's face it, if you're not evolving, you're falling behind. And technology is evolving at an almost alarming rate.
It's almost like you need a dedicated team just to keep up with the changes, let alone implement them.
And that, my friend, is where a company like InfoStack Tech times to come in. They're saying, we'll handle the keeping up. You focus on your core business.
It makes sense. The cost of hiring, training, and retaining a full in-house IoT team with all those specialized skills, it's enormous.
Not to mention the risk. You hire someone, invest in them, and then 6 months later, a new hot technology comes along, and their skills are, not obsolete, but less relevant.
So staff augmentation offers a way to mitigate that risk, to stay flexible.
Exactly. It's about agility. And, let's be honest, in the tech world, agility is everything.
So what are some of the downsides? Where might a company hesitate in using this type of model? Because, it can't all be sunshine and roses, right?
Well, you've hit the nail on the head, Jenny. There are asterisks, definitely times some potential bumps in the road. One big one is company culture. Think about it. How easy is it to really integrate someone into a team, to get them on board with the company's values and way of working, if they're only there for a few months?
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like they might not be as invested in the long-term vision of the company.
Exactly. And that can affect collaboration, communication, all sorts of things. Gartner did a study on this, actually. And they found that aligning external talent with internal strategies is super important for smooth integration. It's not just about finding someone with the right skills. It's about finding someone who finds fits.
And what about security? You're bringing in someone from outside the company, giving them access to potentially sensitive information. That feels risky.
You're spot on, Jenny. That's a asterisk major times concern for a lot of businesses. We're talking about proprietary information, intellectual property, the crown jewels of the company in some cases. And, temporary staff might not have the same level of loyalty or accountability as a full-time employee. There was a survey by Kaspersky. I think it found that 25% of businesses reported security incidents linked to temporary or outsourced personnel. So the risk is real.
Wow, that's a significant number. So extra times careful vetting is crucial, I guess.
Beyond crucial. And strong security protocols, clear access controls the whole shebang. Another potential downside, and this is a bit more long-term, is the impact on in-house expertise.
How so?
Well, if you're constantly relying on outside experts for key projects, what happens to your own team skills? Do they get the chance to develop and grow? Or do they become, overly dependent on external help?
Ah, I see. So you could end up weakening your internal capabilities over time.
Precisely. And that creates a long-term dependency on staff augmentation, which, might not be sustainable or cost-effective in the long run. Even big players like Microsoft have talked about the need to balance in-house capacity with strategic staffing. It is all about balance.
So it's not a silver bullet then. Staff augmentation is a tool, but it needs to be used strategically, with careful consideration of the potential drawbacks.
You got it. It's about finding the right balance, the right fit, and being aware of the risks. And, hey, maybe we should do a quick poll on our social media. Something like, do you think staff augmentation is better for large corporations or small businesses?
Oh, I love that. It'll get our listeners involved, and we might get some interesting perspectives. We could also throw out some discussion questions, like, what are your biggest concerns about integrating temporary staff? Or, can companies rely solely on staff augmentation without losing internal expertise?
Perfect. We can put those on our social media channels, ask people to respond. It's all about building a community around the podcast, right?
Totally. And maybe, in a future episode, we could even have a debate, bring in someone with a different viewpoint on staff augmentation. That could be fun.
I'm in. Always up for a good debate. We could make it a regular segment, spice things up. We need a quiz, get a bit of a competition started.
That makes sense. Well, this has been a very insightful look at InfoStack Tech and the whole concept of staff augmentation. Thanks for breaking it down, Mark.
My pleasure, Jenny. Always happy to nerd out about this stuff. And remember, folks, stay agile. And don't forget to check out our socials and chime in.